Hello, welcome back to the channel Torque Nest. You're looking at the most expensive Sierra GMC has ever built, and they still won't tell you how much horsepower it makes. That's not a typo, and it's not me being dramatic for a thumbnail. GMC rolled out an entirely new Sierra 1500 in late June, showed us cameras, screens, 2 brand new V8 engines, 6 trim levels, and then just stopped talking about numbers. Which is a strange way to sell a truck, but here we are, and I'm going to walk you through everything we actually know, plus a few things I think you should be worried about before you put a deposit down. Quick heads up before we get into it, this is a preview, not a full review. The 2027 Sierra hasn't hit dealer lots yet. GMC says it'll arrive before the end of this calendar year, so some of what I'm giving you is confirmed straight from the automaker, and some is an educated estimate based on what the outgoing truck costs and what similar trucks in this class are doing. I'll tell you which is which as we go. Now, why does this truck matter right now? Because the full-size pickup war in America has never been more brutal. Ford's got the hybrid power boost F-150 basically turning into a mobile generator. Ram's leaning hard into interior luxury. Toyota's Tundra is finally a real contender. And GMC needed an answer that wasn't just, same truck, new grille. This is that answer, or at least, it's supposed to be. And here's the tease I promised. There's one feature Ford has that GMC straight up does not offer on this truck, and depending on how you use a pickup, that missing feature alone might be a deal breaker. Hang tight, we'll get there. Let's start with how it looks, because GMC clearly wants this thing to look expensive from 50 feet away. The front end is taller and more vertical than before, almost aggressively upright, like the truck is standing at attention. The grille has real presence now, not just size for the sake of size. Those signature GMC headlamps do little welcome and farewell light animations, which, sure, is a gimmick, but it's a genuinely satisfying gimmick when you're walking up to your driveway at night. Down the side, the proportions are still classic American pickup, long hood, tall cab, big bed, but GMC's calling the new body language machine precision surfacing, and you can see it in how clean and taut the sheet metal looks compared to the last generation. Less busy, more confident. The Denali trims get their own grille treatment and badging to separate them from the Work Truck Pro and Elevation versions, and the AT4X keeps its chunkier, trail-ready stance with real off-road hardware underneath. It's a good-looking truck. I'll be honest, though, some of these front fascias are going to be polarizing in person. Not everyone's going to love how tall and vertical that nose is. Step inside and this is where GMC clearly spent its budget. The cabin is dramatically more tech-forward than before. You've got an 11.5-inch passenger display with a cover that physically slides up to hide it when it's not in use, so it just looks like a strip of trim instead of a screen staring back at your passenger. Small detail, but it's the kind of thing that makes a cabin feel less cluttered. Add in a 15-inch head-up display and an 8.5-inch digital rearview mirror, and you're looking at one of the most screen-dense interiors in this entire segment. Materials step up noticeably on Denali and above. GMC's even throwing forged wood accents into the top Denali Ultimate trim, which is a first for this truck. Space-wise, it's still a proper crew cab full-size pickup, so rear seat room and bed capacity should be right in line with what Sierra buyers already expect. My one real concern here, and I'll say it plainly, is that a truck with this many screens can very quickly become a truck with a confusing menu system. GMC's interface has been decent lately, but decent and this many displays don't always play nice together. Now, remember that number I mentioned at the start? GMC is offering 4 engines here, an enhanced Turbomax 2.7-liter Turbo 4, the Duramax 3.0-liter Turbo Diesel 6, and 2 brand new 6th generation V8s at 5.7 liters and 6.6 liters, all mated to a 10-speed automatic. And GMC has only told us the big V8 will be, quote, best-in-class power, no actual horsepower or torque figure attached to that. Industry estimates are putting that 6.6 liters somewhere in the mid to high 400 horsepower range, but that's a projection, not a confirmed spec, and I'd treat it that way until GMC publishes real numbers. What they have confirmed is that the diesel will beat the fuel economy of hybrid trucks like the Tundra and F-150 hybrid, a bold claim, and one worth revisiting once EPA figures actually exist. Denali Ultimate buyers also get a 3-year subscription to Super Cruise, GM's hands-free highway driving system, which remains one of the better systems of its kind on real American interstates. And here's that missing feature I mentioned: no hybrid option, at least not at launch. Ford's PowerBoost Hybrid F-150 can run as a full-blown generator, powering tools, appliances, even a house during an outage. The Sierra can't do that. If that kind of versatility matters to you, that's worth sitting with. On pricing, GMC hasn't released official numbers, but based on the outgoing 2026 Sierra starting around $41,000 with destination, expect the new Pro trim to land somewhere just north of $40,000, with the Denali Ultimate realistically pushing toward $90,000 once you're done optioning it out. Competitors you'll cross-shop include the Ford F-150, the Ram 1500, and, awkwardly, its own cousin, the redesigned Chevrolet Silverado 1500, which shares this same engine lineup. If you're chasing max tech in a plush ride, the Sierra's shaping up to be a strong pick. If you actually use your truck as a mobile power source, that hybrid gap is real. So here's where I land. This is a genuinely ambitious redesign, more screens, new engines, real styling confidence, but GMC's asking us to trust a truck we can't fully judge yet, with a horsepower number they still won't share. Would you buy in on a promise like that, or wait for the real numbers to drop? Let me know down in the comments, because I'm curious if I'm the only one who wants that spec sheet before I get excited, and if you want the full breakdown the second those numbers come out. That's exactly the kind of thing that's easy to miss unless you're already subscribed.